What is GameBob? To me, it's a channel for me to express myself. It's an outlet for my creativity. It's the reason I haven't killed myself. I don't think I've ever said that out loud. I I didn't think that was gonna hit as hard as it did. Um wow. I started doing YouTube on May 15th, 2014 because I was inspired by Markiplier and Tobuscus. Because they showed me that there is something to life that is more than just being some subservient cog in a machine. That I could do something that was creative and I could make a living off of it. I remember the first time someone acknowledged that I could do something like this was my mom. I was showing her Tobuscus, and back then I loved Tobuscus. He was such an inspiring character. And my mom looked at me and she said that I was just like him, that my humor was exactly like that, and that I should try and do it too. Oddly enough, my best friend at the time, Danny, he was actually offended because my mom said that about me and not him. And I did my best to console him and make sure he didn't feel left out. And my life changed that day. I just jumped straight into it. I started uploading videos that day. And they were terrible. They were probably the most cringy YouTube videos I had ever seen at that point. But in my mind, they were great. I couldn't even look at them and say that they were terrible because I loved that I was capable of making anything. I had just bought a recording software because I didn't know OBS existed. I don't even know if it did back then. But I had bought a recording software called Action, and it was like $50, and it was terrible. But I was so excited because I finally had some way to do it, and I started making videos that day. Even though I don't even know where the money came from, if I'm honest. I don't know where I bought Action from. Back then, I didn't exactly have an allowance or anything. I just somehow had the money, so I bought it. That was the best decision I ever made. And that was the day I made Vape on Dietrich. Hey there guys, welcome to another Let's Play. I am Vape on Dietrich, and we're going to play Dementium 2. I've never played the first one, but I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in. Hi, how you guys doing? I'm excited for this channel right now. Oh my god, like, I'm almost at 100 subscribers, and about only a week and a half ago, I was at 32. Boom! Hey there guys, welcome to another Let's Play. Today we're going back into Amnesia, and we're going to play some more. Aha!
Oh, I'm gonna watch it. We literally just stopped recording, started recording again. Didn't even move. All I had time to do was look over and go, man, I really want that soda. And I tried to move the soda with my mind.
Hey there guys, welcome to another Let's Play. Today we are going into Murdered Soul Suspect, and as you can probably tell, I am playing on an Xbox One. Because I just got a game capture card, and I am extremely excited to get into this, and my mouth is, like, fizzing because apparently I have rabies. Yeah!
It does.
I'm gonna kill him.
I'm afraid of that happening. So at some point during the game, you may see me murder him.
My first channel.
Myself.
Probably. I refused at the time, I refused to admit to myself that name was terrible. Because I had just come up with it on the fly. And I thought, oh, it sounds cool. And then I refused to change it. No matter how many people told me that it didn't roll off the tongue, it's hard to remember, and no one knew how to spell it. But I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that that's what would cause me to never take off. And I never took off. And no matter how many people told me, do this and your channel will take off. Do that and your channel will take off. I tried everything. I can promise you. I tried literally everything. I even tried self-promoting to other people's fan bases because I was so set that maybe since they like their content, they'll like my content. And then I started getting called things like a leech, a moocher, and I just needed to make my content better and then my channel would take off. Of course, back then, people didn't know what the YouTube algorithm did to YouTubers, because even back then, it was bad. A lot of people don't know this, but it was bad then, too. I started reaching out to bigger YouTubers thinking, maybe I can collab with someone and they can help me grow as a channel. I just need that first boost is what was in my head every day. I just needed that first boost, and then everything would take off from that point. But every time I reached out to a YouTuber, I got one of two things. No response, or I was told I was a leech. Again. And that's like the biggest problem with YouTube right now is everyone you reach out to is going to see you that way. Because for some reason, YouTube has put it into people's heads that everyone just wants something from you. I reached out to this specific YouTuber once. I looked up to him too. And his words hurt so much to hear. And I talked to him for back and forth on emails for a week. Just trying to get a better response from him. I didn't even care that he refused me. I just thought maybe he was just in a bad mood, but every time he wrote me, it was worse and worse. And that killed me. And I chose right then and there that if I ever get reached out to by a smaller YouTuber and their content is cringy and I don't want to actually collab with them because it feels like they're just trying to do something like that, or if they just don't feel like the kind of person I'd be friends with, I just won't respond. Because that is the better response. Because when I was told that I was just a terrible person for even trying, I could never make another person feel like that. Ever. Now, 3 years went by and nothing really changed other than my content got better. It wasn't terrible anymore. It was still cringy, but it wasn't terrible, and I enjoyed making what I was making. But 2017 happened, and I went through probably the worst experience to that point in my life. I've been through worse since. But back then, that hit hard, what I was going through in my personal life, and I couldn't take it. I spent an entire year doing what I can only describe as drowning in my own sadness and grief, my hatred and my anger. it drove a lot of people out of my life. Some I don't regret. Some I do, obviously. But the biggest hit was my channel. I couldn't take the weight of the failure that my channel was. It was killing me on the inside that I put 3 years of effort. I put probably up to 10 grand into equipment and supplies and everything, trying to just make a better channel, and I got nothing out of it. Nothing. And that was killing me. So, I came up with an idea. If I could lessen the burden and have my friends help me out with my channel and make it, instead of just a me channel, I could do what the Game Grumps do or the Yogscast do and just make a multi-person channel. Maybe then I can have some of them do editing. Maybe then I can have some of them do the thumbnails or just schedule the recording sessions. But I was wrong to try and put that on my friends. None of them were either enthusiastic enough or available enough to be able to actually help me with any of that. So it was still on me, but now I had put the burden of scheduling with other people on my plate, and that killed me on the inside. Even worse than before, because at that point it felt like I was letting other people down if I didn't schedule everything correctly. And that's why Stranger Gamers exists. Because I wanted something that wasn't just me anymore. Eventually, that pushed me to make the worst decision I've ever made in my entire life. And I took 3 months off of YouTube. Because no matter how much of a burden it was, it never occurred to me that back then that was the only reason I was alive. That was the only reason I had to keep going. Because no matter how much of a failure I was, no matter how bad I felt about my content, it gave me a purpose. And for 3 months, I gave up. I gave up on everything I'd ever believed in. I sunk into the worst depression of my entire life. And that was hell. That was absolute hell. Then one day, I just woke up. I woke up and felt like my flame was back. My inspiration was back. And I had this brilliant idea. Best idea ever. I was going to make a new channel. I was going to stop doing everything on Stranger Gamers, and I was going to make a channel about me again. Because that's what I loved the most. Was just the straight content that I made when it was just me. Because that made me so happy. So I started saving up money. I saved up money for 7 months. 7 months. And then tax returns happened, and I put $3,000 into an ad for my new channel that I had just started that day, pretty much. And I was so excited because that day changed my entire life. I went from being a nobody to being someone who actually has people watching. I went from 0 to 15,000 over the course of, it was either a night or 3 days. I don't even remember because I was in such a fog until then. $15,000 people saw my ad and subscribed. Then the daunting feeling happened. These 15,000 people are looking forward to content that I needed to make sure was the best content before I released anything. And I started to fear the worst. That people were going to see whatever I upload and not like it. And I promised myself that I wasn't going to ever do what I used to do and just upload something without putting as much effort into it as possible. I would never upload another video without putting everything I had into it. And that was a good decision. I took what used to be a burden and turned it into my livelihood. Ever since, I've been coasting around from temp job to temp job, just making sure I could pay rent and my utilities and everything, and making sure I have enough time on the side to focus on this. My passion, my life, my love. And I won't lie. I wish I was making more off the channel so I could just do this, but I'm not. I promised myself that when I make this video that I'll tell you guys, that I'll ask you guys for help. But no matter how I phrase it, it sounds like I'm asking too much. And I hate that. So I guess the best way I can say this is if you want to help support me on my channel, there are links in the description. That's all I'm going to say. Recently, I actually made an ad, again, a new ad, and I was really proud of this one because I thought, how do you get people's attention? Well, you make a personal connection. That's the first thing you do. You always make a personal connection. So the first thing I thought of was, well, you can specifically put your ads on one specific channel. Okay, so where do we go from there? We'll just say it. Hey, you're about to watch this person. So I did that, and I've been a big fan of Minilad for like the last year, so I was like, why not? Let's get some Minilad fans. And it was the craziest thing because I wasn't sure if it was going to make me look like a piece of shit. So I made sure to put in the context of the video, I'm paying Minilad through this ad, so don't be too mad. And I was so paranoid that, because I looked after I did the ad, I looked at his comment section, and it was everything to do with me. And I was terrified. I was mortified because all I could think was Minilad's going to see this. He's going to notice. And when he sees it, he's going to think I'm a piece of shit for putting an ad on his video. And then I got a tweet from Minilad. He tweeted about my ad and said he respects the hustle and that he's not mad at all. And it was like a gear shifted in my brain. And I felt this new found inspiration that I'd never felt before. And I want to put so much more effort in now. I want to put everything I have into this channel. And I'm going to. I'm going to put everything I have. And I'm so sick and tired of having great ideas and doing nothing with it. So from this point forward, if I have an idea, I'm going to roll with it, make a video, and then I can decide if it's a bad idea or not. I'll upload only when I see it as a good video, but I'm not going to hesitate anymore. And I think that's the biggest thing I needed to change. Because I hesitate so much when I'm about to make content that I feel like is a good idea. I hesitate. And then I think about it too much. And then I don't like the idea anymore. But this is my promise to myself right now. It's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to make the content I want to make. Whether it's uploaded or not, I'm going to make it. And I hope you guys are there to watch. Right now we're sitting at 17,000 subscribers. And I never thought I'd reach over 1,000. You guys have saved my life. In more ways than you could ever think. And I know you hear it a lot from YouTubers, but there aren't words for what I feel. Thank you is just, it's not enough. It really isn't. I've been doing this for 5 years with basically nothing to show for it for so many of those years. And now I have something that I will never give up. That's because of you guys. Because you guys clicked on the ad and supported me. Because random people cared enough to give my channel a look. Even though the YouTube algorithm hates me. So thank you. Each and every single one of you. You've changed my life for the better. You've made me go from someone who didn't have any direction, any plans in life, to I want to make something out of myself. And I see a bright future ahead of me. I see that I can make this channel into something bigger than myself. That's why there aren't any words for it. Because it is bigger than me. It's bigger than any of us. As a one-person thing. There are no words for it because there has never been words for it. I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here right now if I had never even started trying. If I never discovered Markiplier or Tobuscus, I would not be here. So thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I'll see you guys soon. Be expecting a lot of content in the near future. because I've never been so excited. Bye, guys. Ending recording of camera in 3, 2, 1, click.